Good morning, family. Welcome to today's Source First Channel card read for the collective. I've already done a pre-shuffle and I've asked for Spirit to channel, straight out there, channel the messages that we need to hear as a collective. So let's see what they've got to say. How are you this morning? It's very chilly at my end. Energy's a little bit heavy. I'll take that one. Let me know how things are going for you. Right, first card out. 15. So in numerology, 1 and 5 is 6, obviously. And 6 is all about harmony and home and nurturing and unconditional love, and it says, not my circus, not my monkeys. I use this not my monkey analogy all the time. So yesterday we were left with a bit of a sharp message from Spirit about maybe still retaining a little bit of a 3D gossiping aspect in our reality. And so this, I feel, is intuitively adding on to that, the end of that message, whereby Spirit is saying to us, you know, kind of keep your opinions to yourself, you know. Not everything that goes on around you either warrants you to put your 10 pennies in, or is worthy of that, you know. There's chaos in the world, collective. There is absolute chaos. I've mentioned before, I don't watch the television, I don't watch the news, I don't read newspapers, and it's not about me being ignorant of what's going on in the world. It's about keeping my circle harmonious, which is in numerology, what I've just explained, the 1 and 5 is 6, you know, and that's all about harmony and nurturing and keeping your circle tight. Anybody who is not on this journey, no shade being thrown at them, it's just their journey, just like ours is our journey. Anybody who's not on this ascension journey, this spiritual journey, aren't going to vibe with you in the 5D sense, you know. When we ascend, when we're on this spiritual journey, when our vibration raises, we manage to kind of rise above that a little bit, and it doesn't make anybody any better. It doesn't make anybody any less if they're not doing this journey. It just means it's our time for this ascension process. But we need to remember that not everybody is rising with us, and what we're trying to do is to escape from the things that tether us to the 3D, from the third dimension, which is the chaos, which is the drama, which are self-inflicted environments for people that they have created because of their internal world. Remember, your internal self reflects your external self. If you have started to do the work and clear up, you know, your karma and your drama, then your environment, your world, your reality is going to be a lot calmer and more nurturing and harmonious than a person who hasn't. And so they will attract, because of the chaos that's going on still internally, they will attract a lot of drama, and we do not need to get involved in that, okay? Be a bystander. I'm not saying don't help people. We need to remember, obviously, you know, that we're guides, we're lighthouses for people. Be kind, help, but not to the detriment of yourself. If you're getting involved in something that's becoming a little bit claggy, just take a quick step back and have a look from a higher spiritual perspective. Is this my circus And is it my monkey? Okay, then we've got 16, which in numerology is 7. Spiritual awakening, inner wisdom, intuition, and very deep contemplation. Crikey, look at the rage going on in there. Hothead. Wow. You know, when we ascend, you know, or when we start the ascension process, because it's an onward journey, it never completely ends. You know, we're always learning. Every day's a school day. You know, we do it at different rates. One of my soul contracts is to go first, be like one of the first wave volunteers, Dolores Cannon calls them, people who kind of like forge the path for the mass awakenings for the collective. I've managed to do like a really nice, on reflection, a really nice slow and steady ascension. You know, I'm not saying it's been easy, it's been very difficult, and it's been going on since really that I was aware of, since 2017. So, you know, a good 9 years. But it's been a slow, steady learning process. But now there's people who are elevating at a rapid rate of knots because of the time shift, because of what's happening in the world. And the collective are needing more and more activations to keep the vibration high against what is happening. There are people who are suddenly being thrown into ascension. I mean, look at the frustration. He's literally got steam coming out of his ears with the rage. And the part of the ascension process, it's very much like a grieving process. So, you know, there's like 7 stages of grief, and one of those is anger. This is what this is bringing to mind. A feeling of frustration. I know I've got a lot of clients that are working on one-to-one basis, and they contacted me, you know, in very difficult situations, very difficult circumstances, that they're feeling frustrated with their process. Let's say it like that. They're feeling like they're not making progress. Remembering everything's in divine timing. You cannot force this process. It's like peeling an onion. You know, we've got layer upon layer upon layer of healing work, deep rooted healing work that needs to be alchemized. And we can't force that just because we want to suddenly ascend, which creates a frustration, which then turns into anger because of the situation, because we are wanting to move it forward. So just be mindful of forcing. You know, when we get put onto this situation, we've been unhappy for a while. Remembering, for those of you who've managed to read the course or the book, The Soul's Whisper, the soul will have been talking to you for a very long time. You will have felt the niggle, the pull, the call to do something about the change in your situation, your environment, that you've known that there's something more for you. But this happens over years, and it's taken a very long time to get to this point. And suddenly when it clicks into place, and you find that doing this work, doing the ascension process, doing the awakening process is what you needed, it's really, really frustrating when you've got this new life going on, and you're trying to leave the old life behind, and your soul has moved forward, but your physical body is still stuck where it was. It's really, really frustrating. Please trust the system, trust the source, trust the universe to guide you when you need to move. Okay, you cannot force this. Just take it easy. When you're feeling this aggravation with the situation, because part of you is still stuck in the 3D, please remember this. And the next card out, 4 and 1, is 5, which is change. So I've just been talking about it. Thank you for that clarification, Spirit. Freedom, adventure, transformation, and adaptability. pull yourself together. So when you're feeling this frustration and this anger, please remember this message direct to you. You were meant to hear this message today. It's not by chance. It's not about the algorithms. Yes, the system controls the algorithms for who sees the message, but Spirit overrules that. If you are meant to hear this message, it really does pertain to you and your situation, whether you know that you're in an awakening or not. Okay, everything is meant to be. Pull yourself together when you are feeling the frustration of not being able to move forward like you want to, at the speed that you want to. Okay, change is coming. Your spirit, your soul has and is moving. It will take a little while for the physical aspect to catch up. Okay, this is reminiscent of my situation too. It is very frustrating to remain in a situation where you know that you're doing the work, you know that you're putting the hours in, yet reality is still lagging behind. But trust the process, trust in Spirit, it will catch up. Okay, very powerful message for those who are meant to see that today. Thank you so much for listening right to the end. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for sharing. And thank you so much for the exchange of energy, my channeling ability to bring this message to you, for your support in the forms of a thumbs up. Many blessings to you.